Hello one and all, my name is Ryan Bruce, my friends call me Fluff, and today on Riffs, Beards, and Gear, we talk about fixing up an old friend. So I was recently at GearFest 2023 over at the Sweetwater headquarters in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and before I went over there, they had reached out and they said, hey, while you're over here, it would be really cool for you to see the plecking process, which I saw last time I was there, but there wasn't a lot of things happening with the plecking machines. And we want to know if you have any guitars that could use some fixing up. And I instantly thought of probably one of the most prolific guitars in my entire life, my first serious guitar, my 1994 Fender Strat, and I sent it to them. Off it went. Now, to give you a little bit of context, this guitar is far from how it looked when I initially got it in November of 1995. See, I had initially started playing in the summer of 1994 on a really beat up acoustic guitar with literally 20-year-old strings. And the deal was, if I stuck with it, my parents would upgrade me if the time came when I turned 15, okay? So the day came, I really wanted an electric guitar. I was a huge Smashing Pumpkins fan and still am. And we went down to Don's Green River Music in Auburn, Washington, and I saw this guitar. Now, originally, this was a black Strat, a Squire Strat, with a white pickguard and regular 3 single coils. This was a Mexican Stratocaster, and at the time, it was $350, which to me, I was like, oh, I can't even believe I'm getting a guitar that costs this much money. And I walked out of the store with it, and I loved it. And I proceeded to play it into the ground for the next, 12, 13 years. And currently, as it sits today, the only things that are original to this guitar are the body, the bridge plate, the neck, or the jack, the input jack, and the neck plate. Those are the only things that are original to this guitar. I played the frets off of the original neck, and at the time, it was just cheaper to buy a neck off of eBay than to get a refret on my Mexican Strat. So I always wanted a maple fretboard. I got this neck from a 2000 Mexican Fender Strat, and it had already been upgraded with Fender locking tuners, and I think I got it for $120, which seemed like a really good deal at the time, and it still is today. And yeah, it's been upgraded a lot. However, you guys haven't really seen this guitar on this channel in quite a long time. I think really one of the only appearances it's ever made on the channel, to my memory, is the Smashing Pumpkins Siamese Dream tone recreation that I did a few years ago. And even at that time, it was kind of hard to play because it needed a fret job, honestly. And the neck was not that playable anymore. And I don't know, it was just kind of worn out, to be totally honest with you. And it sat in storage. It sat in storage for literally, a decade, aside from me getting it out for the Smashing Pumpkins video. Enter Sweetwater. So upon arriving at Sweetwater, they emailed me upon evaluation and told me a couple of things. First, it really needed a fret level, and I knew that. But what they also told me is the bridge pickup was almost dead. Not quite dead, but almost dead. And it was outputting, I think, 2K or something like that. And the lace sensor red that I had in the bridge was shorted. This is interesting because when I did the Smashing Pumpkins tone recreation video a few years ago, I did notice that, gosh, I thought this was a higher output pickup, but it doesn't sound like how I remember it sounding, but that just must be me. And I continued on with the video, not knowing that I had a bad pickup the whole time. So their suggestion was to replace the pickup because they could not repair it, and to plec the frets and the neck and give it a full setup and some TLC. And I thought, man, it needs it. So I arrived at Sweetwater for Gear Fest. I made my way over to the Guitar Tech area over near the Guitar Gallery, and Wade was nice enough to lead me through and kind of give me another tour of the facilities and then kind of go over what they did to the guitar. Now, I have a JB Jr., a Seymour Duncan JB Jr. in the neck. I really, really, really love the sound of this pickup, having come home and actually plugging it into my stuff. And also, when I was over there, we did film a bunch of footage. However, I hadn't got to play the actual guitar at length. I just briefly got to fret around on it. And I don't know, I didn't convey what I wanted to convey in that original footage, which I've been cutting to, I'm sure, throughout the course of shooting this video, which is why I am sitting down on my couch at home after having gotten some sleep. And I'm now telling you about the resurrection of my dearly beloved 94 Fender Strat. Now, something that's particularly powerful for me is finally being able to have this on my guitar rack next to my much toured Music Man Stingray RS Blue Sparkle guitar that I have a ton of playtime with, and it's beat up. I've sweated all over it. I've played it all over the world. And to have that next to my first serious guitar is a real psychological boost for me. When I look over and I see both guitars coexisting and knowing that this one is actually functional now, I don't know, that kind of warms my heart, guys. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It is very, very cool, and it's a full circle moment for me every time I look over and see both guitars coexisting in the same guitar rack at my home studio today. I just think of all of the childhood memories and all of the shows I've played with this guitar back in the day when I was a kid. And I don't know, I am just particularly thankful to Wade and his team over at Sweetwater for fixing up my favorite Strat. If I had to grab one guitar in an emergency situation, God forbid, this would be the guitar. This has the most sentimental value to me of any of my guitars that I own, because I've had it since I was 15 years old. That's all I really had for this video. I just kind of wanted to share the sentimental impact of getting my first serious guitar back in working order, thanks to Wade and Sweetwater. And it's just been a really cool experience getting to play this in my current home studio setting. And I just wanted to share it with you guys a little bit. That's all. You've been wonderful. I've been Fluff. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.